Okay, we are here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Keys to Manifestation. I love this topic. This is something I'm super passionate about, and I'm going to give you a couple warnings here because I'm probably going to tell you things that you have not been told, and you may or may not like me by the end of this presentation, but it is going to be super fun regardless. So if we haven't met yet, I am a business and mindset coach, and beyond my education in psychology and biology and business, the reason that I can talk to you about the principles that I'm going to teach you tonight is because I've hit my rock bottom where I could not pay for food. I could not pay my mortgage. I didn't know a way out and didn't see a way out. I was depressed with tons of anxiety, and I was able to, I don't even know what the right way to say it is, like get my way out, but it's not even get my way out or work my way out. I was able to find my way out and build a life that I am super proud of. I love my business and my relationships, and my boyfriend and I are moving into our dream home. If you saw on Instagram, I did a mini tour today. If you didn't, if you're not following me on Instagram, go check it out. It's super beautiful, and we are so excited. So I want you to think about a few things going into this presentation. Has manifestation worked for you in the past? Yay or nay? And you can pop it in the Q&A. So has manifestation worked for you? What have you manifested? Because a lot of the whole manifestation principles, it's really important for you to also acknowledge your power and what you have manifested in the past. So I always, in my workshops, if you've been in my workshops before, I like to give you a lot of homework and journal prompts. So these 3 questions, write these down. These are great journal prompts for tonight. What have you manifested, and what do you want to manifest right now? And you can also pop them in the Q&A, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, so like I said, truth is I am very straightforward. I like to get to the point, and I like to give you a lot of value. So you might not like me after this presentation just because I may say some things that trigger you. I may also talk about manifestation in a way that you haven't heard about it in the past. And I'm also going to point out some red flags about manifestation that I want you to be looking out for to make sure you don't make those mistakes. I will also really emphasize with you, it's so important for you to actually do the work. Doing the work in order to manifest things is really important, but the work, you may not be expecting the work to be the type of work that I talk about tonight. So first exercise, I want you to get a pen and paper, and I'm not sure if you ladies have done this in the past. Have you done the Wheel of Life? And this is a really important exercise to do when learning to manifest. So I want you to grab a pen and paper, and I want you to write down all 8 of these categories: career and business, money and finances, family and friends, home and living environment, health and wellness, romance and love life, travel, fun and recreation, and your ideal self. Now, in this workshop right now, we're going to pick one of them, but I want your homework or your action steps. I don't like saying homework, your action steps from this workshop. I want you to answer those first journal prompt questions, and then I want you to do this full exercise. So what I actually want you to do within each category is I want you to really feel what you want your ideal life to look like and feel like. So you're going to choose all of those areas. Right now, we're only going to pick one. So pick one of these areas, and I want you to really feel, what would it feel like to be in your ideal life in that area? So I'm going to go to home and living environment because that's what I just manifested. But I want you to do all 8. So for example, if I was doing this exercise, maybe it was me in my past, but I would be thinking, okay, I would love to live in something modern, by the water, and be aesthetically beautiful. I want to feel safe. I want to feel loved. I want to feel excited and creative, and I want to feel in alignment. Like, I want you to get to the physical aspects of what you want to manifest, but then also how you want to feel and what those things will help you to feel. Because usually we want to manifest things because we believe that in the having of them, it will make us feel better. And that's really important. I'm going to talk about it later, but I'm going to say that again. Write this down. You want to manifest things because you believe that in the having of them, it will make you feel better. So it's really important then when you're learning to manifest that you know how that thing will make you feel. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. If you want to pop in the Q&A box, let me know which part of the wheel of life right now are you going to do. So tell me which ones you're going to do. Oh, see, Jennifer said she manifested her last job. That's awesome. I manifested side gigs and my current rent house that I'm in. Amazing. So let me know, ladies, which part right now are you going to quickly jot down? Awesome. So Jennifer's doing money and finances. Great. Career. Janine is doing career and business. Perfect. So I want you to sit there and really think, how do I want to feel in this, right? So money and finances. I want to feel like I can buy things without ever worrying. I want to feel like I have endless amounts of money and that I can treat people and create experiences for myself and others, right? So I want you to really dive deep. Family and travel. Cool. So pick one of those for tonight. Career, business, awesome. So I'm going to give you a minute to just really sit with it and ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And you guys can write it down. Okay. I want to quickly note while you're writing down for whatever exercise you're doing, ideal self. Ideal self is super important. So I really want you to spend some time after this workshop doing an action step to really sit and feel, how does my ideal self feel? Who is she? What does she embody? What does she represent? How does she present herself? And the reason I'm going to point this out is because I'm going to talk about this later in the presentation. And so I want to make sure that I put a little star next to ideal self right now. Great. So does anyone have any questions before we move on to the next part? You can also send me a DM or a voice note and let me know what each section is. Because one thing that I find when people do the Wheel of Life exercise is they just don't go into enough detail and they don't go into how it's going to feel. And I've repeated that many times. So go into, how does it feel? Fun and recreation. Let's say you're doing travel. Do you want to travel first class? Do you want to travel economy? Do you want to camp? Do you want to go luxury? Do you want to fly on a private jet? Like, I really want you to see what you want to experience, and then how does that make you feel? It makes me feel excited. It makes me feel just so proud that you could do that. It makes me feel cultured and like I can appreciate and understand other people's cultures. It helps me to expand my compassion and my love and understanding for the world, right? So really dive deep. Okay, so that is your first action step on top of the journal prompts. I want you to go into the Wheel of Life, and we're going to continue building on this for manifestation. You might already be able to see why this is such an important element when you're starting to manifest. So from that Wheel of Life exercise, we're moving into visualization, because I want you to be very clear of what you're going to be visualizing in order to help yourself manifest. And I'm going to give you some routines to support your manifestation on a later slide. So when we talk about visualization, it's one thing to just think it. It's another to actually feel it through your body. I visualize every single day, and I sit there and I really feel. How do I feel as if I were already there? As if I already have everything I could ever want. How does that feel? Because here's a red flag. Oftentimes, mistakes that people make in manifestation is they're here and they want to go here, right? In the wheel of life, they want to go here. And forever, when they're doing their visualization and their journal prompts and everything like that, there's this gap between where you are and where you need to go. And so it's always feeling distant from you. When you visualize, are you thinking, this is where I want to go? This is what I want to have, as if I don't have it now? Or when you're visualizing, are you able to visualize as if you are right now? And this is the whole component of visualization, to actually feel it. You're going to think it. So the wheel of life was the thinking. Then we move into the feeling, which is in this visualization part, in order for you to actually see it and manifest it in your real life. Because how you feel, you feeling as if you are right now, having everything you could ever imagine, this is the key that a lot of people, there's that gap between where you are and where you want to go. Your mind does not know the difference between your imagination and whether you're visualizing it and feeling it and living it in your mind and creating it in your mind versus if you're seeing it in your reality. Athletes do this all the time. They visualize winning. They visualize it happening before it even happens. So when it does happen, you're not as nervous. It's the second, third, fourth, 100th time you've actually done it because you've run it through in your mind so many times before you've actually done it. And you're going to see this concept come up again when we talk about routines to support your manifestation. Does this make sense for the visualization part? Let me know in the Q&A box, the chat box, how often you currently visualize. Do you visualize daily? And I want you to know you don't have to visualize for half an hour. It can be 30 seconds. It can be a minute. It can be 3 minutes. I don't care how long, as long as you feel it. You'll also notice if visualization is something new to you, it might take you a little bit longer in the beginning to visualize and to actually feel it. But once you start to practice, for example, my ideal self, I visualize my ideal self every single morning before I even get out of bed. In the beginning, it took me a few minutes to be able to feel her. Now it takes me seconds. I can just feel her and recall her and be her. And this is so useful because what I want your routines in manifestation to do is to support you throughout your day. So that when you notice you're out of alignment, you notice you're not living as if you already have everything you could ever imagine, then you can snap back into it in seconds. You can just take a deep breath and feel whatever aspect you want in your wheel of life. Does that make sense? I want to share with you a story I heard today of a gentleman who had a very successful business, and every month he made sure he used his every last dollar in his bank account. He went down to zero in his bank account every month because he truly believed that he was super taken care of and he already had everything he could ever want. It's crazy, right? And so many people, I mean, think about how much money you have in your bank account right now. Probably more than this successful entrepreneur who had $0 at the end of every month. So now when we're doing this presentation, it's March 1st. He was able to have no anxiety, no fear as soon as March 1st came, and he had $0 in his bank account, right? That is faith. That is manifestation. It is very cool on a new level. I'm not quite there yet either, but I wanted to share that as food for thought for you as we continue this workshop. Okay, so here are some routines to support your manifestations. Manifestations is daily practice, okay? This is something that you're going to have to do if you really want to commit to it every day. Now, the good thing about manifestations, and we're going to talk about this in a second, even if you commit to it daily, it's not about the manifestation. If you commit to these practices that we're talking about daily, you're just going to feel better and you're just going to be your best self and you're going to just be a better human. So you're going to be more in alignment with who you want to be and who you want to show up as. So it's super fun if you cannot be attached to the manifestation, because these exercises will truly help you to manifest, but then also feel your best. So here are some suggestions. Here's what I do. In my morning, like I said, I do my ideal self meditation, right? I put on my alarm, I put on a song, whatever, spa music, and I really feel my ideal self. This grounds me in order to make sure that I am connected to everything I want in my day. Then throughout the day, I do two pretty big things. Number one is I have a very clear intention behind everything that I do. And this is going back to the Wheel of Life exercise in the beginning. So within the Wheel of Life, let's say I'm talking about work and business. I know a lot of you had mentioned that in the chat box. If we're talking about business and career, when I send out an email to a client, I'm visualizing my ideal partner, or my ideal client. I'm visualizing my ideal client. I'm visualizing the impact that my email will have on them. I'm visualizing sending them love. I'm visualizing them as their best self. Using these manifestation tools, it's not, like I said, it's not about the manifestation. It's about who you become in the process. It's about being intentional in everything that you do. And here's the difference between, when we go through this, you might finish the presentation and go, yeah, I know this, but how is this currently working for you? If you know it and you're not seeing results in your life, business success, financial success, romantic success, I truly question, it's one thing to know and another to be. Who are you being? Who are you showing up as? What are you embodying on a daily basis? Because if you know these things, but you're not actually doing the do and you're not doing the work, this may sound like a lot to you, or maybe a little, but it's about the daily tasks you take in order to become your best self and in order to manifest your best life. So the intentions behind every action. The good thing about this, wherever you're at in your spiritual journey, your self-development journey, your manifestation journey, this may seem like a lot to you, or it may seem like nothing. Once you start to have intentions behind every action, these things become second nature. Like I said, my ideal self meditation, a couple seconds. Intentions behind every action, a couple seconds, right? It starts to become who you are and who you show up as every day. Another thing that I do daily is I'm always paying attention to how I feel and my thoughts. I'm always paying attention to, am I living in my past? Am I living in my future? Where are my thoughts? When I'm in stillness, where do my thoughts gravitate towards? My past, my future, my present, worry. I need you to really start paying attention to your thoughts. Mastering your thoughts is the secret to success in life, I believe. And how people master their thoughts, that's different for every person. One thing that I don't have written down here, if you really want to, actually I talk about it on later slides. I'm not going to tell you right now, but it's super important no, I'm going to throw it in because it's really relevant right now. So if you want to really master your thoughts and start becoming more aware of what you're thinking and how you're feeling, I want you to set your alarm on your phone to go off every 2 hours. Every time that alarm goes off, I need you to ask yourself, how am I feeling? What was I just thinking? I need you to start mastering your thoughts. Even this past week, we're moving. It could be a super stressful time for us. However, all day, the last few days, I have been in so much peace. And anytime I feel a little bit of angst or like nervousness or stress coming up, I just breathe and I listen to my thoughts. And my thoughts are telling me, oh my gosh, you have so much to do. You gotta go, you gotta go. Keep going, look at your to-do list. Oh, we have to do this and we have to do that. Our thoughts create our emotions and our actions. Our thoughts create our emotions, create our actions. Once we can start controlling our thoughts and shifting our thoughts and changing our thoughts, that's when we start to see everything completely unfold. And if you want a few of you, I think, were on this workshop. A few weeks ago, I did an entire workshop on how to shift your thoughts and process your emotions. So DM me after this presentation and I will send you a recording of that webinar. Another thing that I do, so if we look at our evening routines, I usually have like a bath, or I just have a relaxing little, I'll wash my face. I really start to decompress from my day. And then I also pre-pave the next day. So this is similar to visualization. You can think about, what do I have going on tomorrow? How do I want that to go? How do I want to show up? What energy do I want to bring into the situation? And again, like I mentioned before about the athlete, every time you visualize before it happens, your mind doesn't know the difference. So for example, tomorrow, I have a full day of coaching calls. Tonight, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to send all my clients love. I'm going to prepare and get into my ideal self. I'm going to see them in their ideal self and just continue to open my heart in order to show up as my best self tomorrow for my clients and make sure that they get what they need from me. This makes sense? So make sure from this slide, I want you to think about, what am I going to do to support my manifestations and my feelings and emotions to help me get into alignment with everything that I want and desire, which we went over in the Wheel of Life. So do you see how it's all connecting? Let me know if you have questions. I will have time for questions at the end of the workshop as well. So here's where you may not like me, okay? Warnings. This is big warnings. I almost hate doing workshops with the word manifestation in them, because you have all these people who are like, oh, I want to manifest this and I want to manifest that. And it's kind of a trendy word. And truth be told, I don't really like the word manifestation. And I'm going to tell you why. But I really want to highlight some things that may be holding you back in actually seeing your manifestations come to fruition. And I already mentioned one, where there's a gap between where you are now, where you want to go, and when you're manifesting and visualizing, you're actually thinking about it in the future as opposed to living as if you are already there. Okay, that's the first one. And I'm going to tell you some more. So if you're living in your past, so I want you to notice when you are idle, where does your mind go? Does your mind go to your past? Does your mind go to the fight you had with your friend, how you were raised, the trauma, the triggers that you've experienced? And I will be completely vulnerable and tell you, totally, that's where my mind goes a lot of the time, into my past. And they often say your past is associated with depression if you're thinking about your past, and your futures, well, if you're thinking about your future, it'll bring more anxiety. I got both, right? And I am so proud to tell you I've had both, because that's why I know that these tools work, because I've had the depression. My mind still idles back to the past, and then I use different techniques and tools that I've taught you in past workshops and on this workshop to rewire my brain, right? It's possible to shift your thoughts and rewire your brain. I am living proof that it is possible. Now, I put this example here, where caterpillar to the butterfly, because as you evolve as a person, our thoughts of our past should also evolve. If I actually put this on Instagram the other day, if you already saw this, and I'm going to repeat it again because it's worth repeating. You were a different person in your past, which means that as you evolve and grow, your vision of your past would change, because if those things happen to you right now, guaranteed you'd react and respond differently. And the example of the butterfly is super powerful, because here we have a caterpillar who's living its glory life, who has no idea it's going to become a butterfly. And when the butterfly emerges and the butterfly happens to evolve, the butterfly isn't thinking about its past life as a caterpillar. It's almost like a new life. And so I always think about this. I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm now a butterfly, I need to honor my caterpillar journey, but I'm no longer that caterpillar. Do you understand the difference? I need you, whoever you were, bringing you to where you are now, honor her. She is amazing. She is beautiful. She's got you to where you are right now. However, in order for you to get something you've never had, you're going to need to become someone you've never been. And that's why in this manifestation workshop, it's really about evolving and transforming you into that person I know you are and releasing those old patterns so that you can manifest the life of your dreams. Does that make sense? Is that clear? So some steps that I take when I notice my thoughts are trailing into my past, I acknowledge the thought and then I give it to the light. I literally give it away. I give away the thought. I show it love. I show it gratitude, and then I give it away. It is no longer who I am. It is my past. It is a time when my human was just having fun. My human was just exploring. My human was in a pattern. It is no longer who you are. So we need to stop living in the past because it's keeping you small. I send it love. I send that person love. And then I also realize I am not my past. You are who you are today, and releasing your past is going to give you so much freedom and will help you to manifest faster and easier, and you'll have a lot more fun. Is this resonating with you? If this is resonating with you, type yes in the comments. Let me know if you also find that your thoughts trail into your past. Right? Okay, I see some comments coming in. Yeah, totally. Perfect. Look at all of you. Okay, this is awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone is really resonating. I get it. And this is why it's so awesome, because this is why I just feel so blessed, because because I've done the work. I've literally spent hours and hours a day in meditation and journaling, and I've spent thousands of dollars on therapists and coaches myself, that I just want to share with you everything that I've done to get to where I am today, because I just want you to have so much peace, so much love, so much light, and just live such a beautiful life. It's so great. Anyways, makes me emotional. Okay, here now, you may be living in the future. So this is a warning sign that may be slowing down your manifestations. Living in the future linked to anxiety, overwhelm, thinking about all the things you have to do. Now, anytime I struggled from anxiety, I just took it. Eckhart Tolle talks about this all the time in The Power of Now, his book. Anxiety for me was a sign to come back to presence. Because when I was anxious, I was always thinking about the things I had to do. Come back to presence. What's going on around me? How am I feeling? And this is where that link comes that we were already talking about. You need to feel as if you already have everything you could ever imagine right now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You have it right now. So if you already had paid off your debt, right? I'm going to some of the things in the Q&A. If you already paid off your debt, if you already had that job, how would that feel? I'm just like radiating just thinking about this for you ladies, right? Really, this needs time for a pause, okay? I want you to just sit for a moment, and whatever you typed in the Q&A at the beginning of this workshop about what you actually want to manifest, I want you to think about, how does it feel to already have it right now, to have it? How does it feel? Can you feel it? How does it actually feel? I hope it lights you up. We have a comment in here saying that Bhavana read the book Rewire Your Anxious Brain, and it really helps to understand the neuroscience behind anxiety. That's awesome. Haven't read that? I'll definitely give that a go. So if anybody else here has suffered or currently has anxiety, that might help you. And yes, I have a bio background and a science background, and I even studied with the HeartMath Institute in California that talks a lot about the neuroscience. I tend to not bring too much of it out in these presentations, but I'll definitely check out that book. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. But I really want you to come back into presence. So notice yourself. Where are you? What are you doing? How are you feeling? And come back into presence, a call to presence. I also want to mention, when we're living in the future, I want to honor you, because we live in a culture that's always living in the future. When you get that job, when you pay off your debt, when we move into that house, it's always when. You'll be happy when. And this is where I want to just throw up my hands. If you haven't noticed, I talk a lot with my hands, but I want to throw up my hands and just say, no, we need to be happy now. Your happiness, it stops now. Your happiness is no longer dependent on your external environment. And this is what might also be slowing down your manifestations. Because if you're living as if you already have everything, you're not chasing. You're already connected to everything you could ever want right now. And I noticed this past week too, because we're moving. We're not in the new house yet. You'll see the new house. But I was finding that my brain was going to, oh, I can't wait to be in the new house. I can't wait to have it decorated. I can't wait to have it organized. And while that excitement is still there, I was living in my future. And instead, I took a step back into presence. It was giving me anxiety. I came back into presence and I just said, no, I'm going to enjoy this time going to the store and finding perfect things for the home. Living in the now versus chasing the happiness. You'll be happy when. You get to be happy now. And that is why when I write a book eventually, it will be focused on peace. Because my whole theme in everything, manifestation, life, is always creating peace. I need you to create peace and happiness now so that you can manifest everything you could ever imagine. And I'm going to give you solutions to these red flags as well. Okay, so I've mentioned a couple of these things so far. I want to recap this before I go into the solutions. Your reason, why do you want to manifest the things you want to manifest? This is a really good journal prompt, and we'll also link to the Wheel of Life. And I said this already once. You want it because you believe that in the having of this manifestation, it will make you feel better. It will bring you happiness. What if you had that happiness right now? Then almost the manifestation doesn't even need to happen. But the kicker is, if you're happy now and you don't need the manifestation, that's when the manifestation comes, right? It's when you're no longer attached to the outcome. It's when you don't even need it that you get it. It's bringing yourself to that moment where, sure, it would be great to have it, but if you don't have it, that's okay too. And really believing that, that's okay too, because you're good. You are so good. And so this is just really thinking about, ask yourself, is my happiness currently tied to my external environment? And I know when we're doing this workshop, it's COVID, it's a pandemic, it can be tough, right? Because our external environment, it can be fun. We're humans. We want to manifest. We want to live in the physical. And I get that pull. I get that balance. But still looking at your happiness and your peace. And are you sacrificing your happiness and peace for the things you want to manifest? This is a really, really important point here. Are you currently using manifestation as a method of control? Let me explain. I know a lot of people, and this is why I don't like the word manifestation, who say, oh, I want to manifest this man. I want to manifest this person to act this way. I want to manifest this specific job. Here's where we have to go back to our Wheel of Life. In the Wheel of Life, did you say you want a specific job that at a specific location with a specific person? Or in your romance, are you looking for so-and-so to pick you? This is where we can start to see people using manifestation as control, as opposed to leaning into the feeling. It doesn't matter where you get the job, as long as it ticks off the box of how much you want to make, how you feel in that job. And hear me out. I had a client who wanted this job so bad. She's like, I need this job at this specific place. It's the perfect job for me. And I just kept saying, come into how you want to feel in that job and trust that if this job is right for you, it will manifest. And if it's not, then let it go, because there may be qualities about that partner, about that job, about that home or that city or that car or whatever that you may not know. And I remember her not getting the job. And then later she found out, oh, that wasn't the job that they told me. I wouldn't have been happy there. Right? So often we're trying to control our manifestations. Just got to let it go. Go back to the wheel of life. Go back to how you want to feel and the qualities without being too specific. Right? Because the things that you want based on the knowledge that you have. To her, that job seemed like it would be the perfect fit based on what she knew, but it wasn't. It's giving into the fact that we don't know everything. We don't know if that job's going to be perfect for us. We don't know if that person is going to be perfect for us. And the things that we often want, we want because we've seen it, either in other people, in movies, right? We create our manifestations based on what we've seen. However, what if your perfect job, and yes, there may be the stepping stones to get there, what if your perfect job was a job that no one's actually ever had yet in the world, or you've never seen, or you don't even know exists? If you continue to focus on the feeling of how it will feel when that job is manifested, and as if you are in that job right now, the feeling of safety and creativity and fun and being appreciated, then whatever's meant for you will continue to manifest. Is that making sense? Are you seeing times when you may have manifested as a method of control? And or do you see that your life, for example, even right now, I always wanted how I feel right now, but I didn't think that it would come in the way that it came. Even my boyfriend, in the beginning, I was sitting there visualizing. We've been together for 4 years, and I would visualize how I wanted to feel in a relationship, what I wanted that to look like. I was never attached to it being him. I didn't even think it was going to be him. But then it just happened. Same with our house. And I'll tell you, if we have time at the end, I'll tell you my house story of how we manifested it. Is this resonating with you? Type a yes in the Q&A if this resonates with you, or let me know. Type control if you notice that you've used manifestation as a form of control. I really want you to lean into this possibility that you don't know, and that there's so much more for you out there than you could ever imagine, right? It's exciting. It's fun. Have fun with it. Manifestation should be fun, not stressful. And here's where I mentioned already, you already have everything that you could ever want. So stay connected and trust. A really good mantra is, I'm already connected to everything I could ever want. You're already connected to it. And that's on a vibrational level. If you're already connected to it, it means you don't need to do anything. Just stay on that vibration and it will come. Right? Okay. Woo, so fun. I love this. Okay, we're seeing some Q&A. Come on in. Let me know. Okay. Oh, this is so good. So Ashley says, totally a mindset shift for me and how I manifest things. Yes. Okay. Jennifer also says she's used it as a form of control, being completely open and honest, giving this past behavioral self-light and love. I realize it's not my past. Perfect. Anxiety. Awesome. So she really related with the anxiety piece. Love it. Okay. So awesome. So I'm going to give you some solutions to make sure that you speed up your manifestation and just how you feel, because I want you to feel good. Okay. Solutions. We're here. Principles to come back to in order to speed up your manifestation and enjoy the process. I want you to have fun. I want you to have so much fun. All right. Surrender. Okay, here's the thing. I've been into this stuff for like 15 years, back when the word surrender wasn't cool. Now I feel like it's kind of cool and I hate using it, but I'm going to use it anyways because to me it means so much. When the beginning of the year, I pick a word that I want to resonate with me for the year. Surrender was my word 2 years in a row. I just really believe in it. So and what is surrender? So often we think about surrender as in war, right? When we surrender, we raise the flag and we're out. It's this defeat. I don't want surrender to be defeat. Surrender links to what I was just talking about. Surrender that we don't know everything, that I'm going to trust that if I'm in manifesting my next job, I'm going to stay into the feeling of how I want to feel in that job with my colleagues, with my ideal clients. And there's going to be this element of trust where I'm just going to surrender and know that if that person doesn't purchase from you, they're not meant for you. And if you don't get that job, it's not meant for you. All you have to do is focus on your vibration and who you bring to the table. So start paying attention to who you are, who you embody, and what you bring to the table every day. And so some elements to help you to surrender. There's an amazing book by Michael Singer, and he has 2 books that are both my favorite books ever, The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment. He shows how he used surrender to manifest a multi-million-dollar business. And it was just beautiful. It's really releasing all of your opinions and judgments that you have of people and things that you want to manifest. Release. I can do my next workshop's on judgment because it's huge, but releasing all that judgment. So in order to assist you in surrendering in the manifestation process, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What does surrender look like in this moment? If you're manifesting a new car, a new job, what does surrender look like? It's the trust, it's the faith. And ask yourself, what does surrender really look like? I asked myself this question for a year. In each moment, I'd say, even if I was in line and someone maybe just cut me off and maybe I was triggered, I'd ask myself, what does surrender look like? What does surrender look like and feel like in this moment? I also used this phrase when I was manifesting things. I'd like this or something better. So when I was visualizing or journaling, I would love this, or something better, because it gives a nod to the fact that I don't know everything and I'm super open to things coming to me in a way that I do not currently see. So this surrender element is trusting that I want you to get in alignment with the vibration that your dreams and desires are. Right? I want you to get in alignment with the same vibration, which means I want you to focus on the feeling and not the how. We don't need to worry about how. I never thought we would be living in this home, our dream home. I had pieces of it, but I was completely open to the how. Let go of the how. That's the fun part. Let the universe do its magic. You can also say in your visualizations and journal, please bring the job, please bring the person, please bring the home, the car. That's for the highest good of all. Allow me to speak in a way that's for the highest good. Right? I do this. I say, use this mantra when I go on to my coaching calls. Before I start my coaching calls, allow me to say what I need to say that's for the highest good of all. Right? It's a vibrational thing. It's allowing, you are a vessel. I say this all the time, so write this down. You are a vessel from which love, light, and joy come into the world. So if it's coming through you, you're just that conduit. You're just that vessel. Allow it to flow, right? It's just so beautiful. It's so much more than just you. And I want you again to come back to how you feel in the now. We talked about past and present. Enabling you to surrender is getting really comfortable with living in the now. What do I see around me? How do I feel? Feel good now. Be now. Be it now. Be as if you already have everything you could ever want right now. You already have the $1 million business. You already have the fancy car. You already live in the home. Feel it now. The feelings that I'm getting moving into this dream home, it's not new. I've felt it for years. Really. And then this actually flows perfectly into the last part of surrender. I just kept following the breadcrumbs. So I'm going to quickly tell the story of how we got our dream home. A few years ago, my boyfriend said, "Oh, when I was young in elementary school, we went to this restaurant and they had amazing burgers." I have no idea where the restaurant was or what it was called. We, for weeks, and this was such a random thought, he literally just came down the stairs and like, "I want this burger from this random restaurant," when I was like 8 years old. Anyways, we researched for weeks, finally found this place. And lo and behold, this place is now down the street from our home. So this was the first breadcrumb. Then we really wanted frozen yogurt in the summer, and we found this one place. It's our favorite place. It's 2 minutes from our new home. We went for a drive, and we ended up going down this random road and looked at this house and said, "Oh my gosh, that house is so beautiful." It's the current house that we're living in. Can you believe that? 2 years ago, we drove down the street, pointed at our home and said, "Oh my gosh, that house is so beautiful." And it is the most random street. It's a private road. I don't even know how we found this road, but we found it. And now we're living in that home. And so this house took a few years to manifest. My happiness was not tied to this home. I could live in a Hobbiton house and still be happy. But it was following the breadcrumbs that were making this home real for us. Isn't that so cute? You like that story? So follow the breadcrumbs and just trust. Everything is bringing you to your next destination. And I have some things going on in the background right now of my life and my business that when they actually happen, oh, the stories are going to be so good, because I'm going to come on and tell you how we manifested. One of the things that I'm working on right now, it's 7 years in the manifestation process. And it's just linking. Everything's linking. So don't question it. Just trust and show up as your best self in every situation. And then also ask for signs. Ask for guidance. Ask for support. Ask for signs. And try not to ask for signs as a method of control, because we can turn anything into a sign, but just be open. Show me that you're with me. Give me a sign of where I should go. It should be choiceless. I want your choices in life to be choiceless. They shouldn't be forced. They don't need to have resistance and fear. It should be choiceless and very clear. So if you're seeking clarity right now in your life, let me know. I'm happy to give you a free clarity call, and I can give you some strategy to help you gain some clarity on your next steps and where you want to go. Because I know it can be confusing, and we all need support in order to help us get there. So just send me a DM and let me know. Okay, so we're almost done. So here is one of the last ways that I'm going to talk about today to help your manifestations occur and happen faster. Alignment. And we've been talking about this the entire time. Alignment is just how you feel. I want you to ask yourself in your journal prompts, I want you to ask yourself, do I know when I feel at my best? When do I feel at my best? What does alignment feel like? I need you to play with this concept so you can get really clear. I also want to tell you that what I considered alignment 5 years ago are now my bad days, and my alignment now is so much greater than I could have ever imagined. It just keeps unfolding so beautifully. So just know that that will continue to change and evolve also. And because when we are so particular on what things need to look like, including our alignment, we really pigeonhole ourselves and stop the blooming and the evolution. So in order to assist you into getting into alignment, go back to some of the routines that we talked about. Go back to feeling good, really focusing on how you feel, focusing on your thoughts, and connecting to your ideal self. So I want you to connect to how you feel. I want you to look at your routines, and in the morning, connecting to your ideal self. What you can also do is actually start an alignment list. Write a list of the things that bring you into alignment, the things that make you feel good, and have time every single day where you intentionally come into alignment. Sometimes that alignment may last 5 minutes. Sometimes it might last all day. It's okay. We go in and out of alignment all the time. It's the contrast that makes life beautiful. And then here is where I mentioned the alarm exercise. Knowing and bringing awareness to your thoughts is going to help you to rewire your brain and come back and find alignment more often. So here are the secrets that you do not want to hear. And I know I've spoken about probably a lot of them, especially the control element of manifestation. But I know you probably didn't expect me, and maybe you did, and that's cool too. Then we're cut from the same cloth. But manifestation is not about the physical. It's really who you become in the process. It's closing the gap between what you know and who you are, closing that knowing and being gap. Manifestation is about being that person already that has the $1 million business and the amazing job and the fancy car or the love life or the children and family, whatever you want. It's also about mastering your thoughts and coming into alignment and starting to shift some of those patterns and letting go of your past thoughts, letting go of your past and really let go of the caterpillar so that you can truly come into that butterfly. I know you are. I know it. I just have so much love for all of you. Whenever I do these workshops, I just love sharing these moments with you. And lastly, manifestation is about embodying who you really are and really owning who you show up as energetically in each moment. It's a vibrational experience. And that's why I even hate saying that I'm like a business and mindset coach, because it's so much more than that. In order for you to grow your business, your career, it's about the vibrational experience. And that's everything. Your relationships is a vibrational experience. Your jobs, every relationship we ever have is a vibrational experience. Everything's vibration, right? So manifestation is just an expansion of that. So that's that. I will stay on. We'll have some Q&A now, but I wanted to let you know that whenever I do these workshops, I know I throw a lot of information at you, but I truly want to share with you everything that I've learned and implemented in my life. So send me a DM on Instagram or email and just let me know that you want a free coaching call. And just DM me or just say manifestation and I'll know you were on this workshop. And I'm happy to schedule a one-on-one session with you and I can help you unpack some of what you're going through. Because when I was at my rock bottom, like I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, the things that got me out, yes, I did work very hard and I called it my mental Olympics, but I also locked arms with people who had already been there and who could help me through. That's when I had therapists and coaches. And even now, I still have business coaches and spiritual coaches that continue to keep me in alignment and help me to continue to grow and reach my goals, right? So I'm happy to be that person for you and keep you accountable to your goals as well. So send me that DM and check me out, obviously, on Instagram. I have tons and tons of tips and tools that I'm always sharing about manifestation and business and mindset. So if you don't see things on there that you want to see, just let me know what you need help with, and I'm happy to make some posts just for you. So thank you so much for being on this workshop and just for being here and investing in yourself. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing right now, and I'm so blessed that you chose to spend the last hour with me. So thank you. We're going to open it up to Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to stop recording.